Docuware's Kinectic solution for invoice processing helps accounting departments streamline their AP process. We will review the simple process of how Docuware validates an invoice, completes a three-way match between the invoice, purchase order, and packing slip, routes the invoice for approval, and presents the invoice for payment to any ERP system. As Docuware imports an invoice, it automatically captures all the relevant fields that a user can define, including document type, vendor name, invoice number, and amount. Here you see Docuware's intelligent indexing functionality automatically recognizing these defined fields on the invoice and auto-populating the Docuware system. If the vendor profile was not already loaded in Docuware, the system would automatically kick off an onboarding workflow to gather all the required new vendor information and then restart the AP workflow. After capturing the relevant information, Docuware then looks for a related purchase order and packing slip. The first invoice, US Steel, has an associated PO. Docuware makes this match and no further approvals are required. And this invoice proceeds directly to the final book and pay step as the system delivers a record containing all the defined data to be imported into your AP system. However, let's assume your organization sets various approval requirements, including dollar limits. Or perhaps the invoice needs to be split and charged to numerous departments. In this case, Docuware kicks off an approval workflow process. Let's take the Phone Wizard invoice to highlight Docuware's split code billing functionality. Docuware can have an AP assign the invoice for multiple departments for review. In this example, the phone bill is split between two cost centers. Here, the user simply activates the GL coding option and the bill can be allocated to multiple departments. From there, a cost center manager would receive the allocation, review the amount, and approve this department's portion of the invoice. Once all of the departmental approvals are received, the invoice comes back to finance. The final data and approvals are verified and the system moves the invoice to the final book and pay. The relevant invoice data is then exported back to your ERP system for payment, and a copy of the invoice stamped with all required approvals is stored in Docuware. Finally, Docuware has a quick match setting which allows any predefined vendor invoices under preset dollar limits to flow directly to book and pay, eliminating any manual intervention. In summary, let's look back at the process. An invoice is brought into the Docuware system via scanner, email, or a manual import process. The invoice is then validated by importing all the defined vendor criteria into Docuware. If the invoice is associated with a PO or packing slip, Docuware completes a three-way match, and if no further approvals are required, sends the invoice directly to be paid. Docuware can also take an invoice and route for any defined approvals or handle split code. Using Quick Match, any predefined vendor and dollar limit invoice can be directed right to payment. And in the end, for any of these situations, Docuware creates a booking transaction for the ERP system while maintaining both the physical invoice with the stamped approvals and a full audit trail. Docuware's Kinectic solution for invoice processing can be configured and in production in just a few days.